I'm Rajitha from University of Connecticut. Thank you for stopping by my poster. This work is done with my co-authors Amit Hassan, Anna Liladal and Chandi Vitarana. I'm going to present our poster on high-performance image analysis workflow for automated detection of ice-wedge polygons from high-resolution satellite imagery. Our project is ice-wedge polygon detection in Arctic permafrost. Permafrost tundra landscape is characterized by a network of small polygonal ponds and patches called ice-wedge polygons. Figure 1 shows a cross-section of an ice-wedge polygon. Transformation of low-centered ice-wedge polygons into high-centered polygons occur causing degradation of network. Figure 2 shows the degradation of ice-wedge polygons. The response of the permafrost tundra to the climate change has become obvious. Figure 3 shows the increasing hydrological connectivity and draining of water bodies. Compositional shift, biomass changes, changes in the vegetation, and shoreline erosion are some of other effects. One of the significant response is the flipping of a carbon sink to a carbon contributor. The entire Arctic has been imaged in 0.5 meter resolution by commercial satellite sensors. However, mapping efforts are yet limited to small scales and confined to manual or semi-manual methods. Given the data volume, geospatial extent, and repeated mapping requirements, we need a highly efficient, fully automated workflows. We have developed Maple, a mapping application for permafrost land environments to detect ice-wedge polygons and water bodies automatically. Figure 4 shows a schematic diagram of Maple. Figure 5 shows the current progress of ice-wedge polygon mapping. Red square shows the areas which we have finished processing. Green squares are currently processing areas and gray squares represent areas yet to be processed. Motivations to develop Maple. Main objective is that the most of the big imagery applications in many scientific domains require a highly efficient workflows due to large volume of data. Especially in geospatial applications, this is extremely important due to the data volume, geographical extent, and repeated mapping requirement. Main objective of Maple is to develop highly efficient workflows for geospatial applications, ice-wedge polygon mapping. We have implemented our workflow in Frontera HPC resource. In table 1, we have shown the typical configuration of Frontera GPU. Figure 6 shows a schematic diagram of Maple workflow. It has 3 stages. In the first stage, it first calculates the water bodies. Tiling main image into small patches are needed as it does not fit into GPU memory. Then the tiling with only water, the tiles with only water are discarded here using water mask. In the second stage, we do the ice-wedge polygon detection for each patch. These polygons are vectorized and stored in shapefiles. In the final stage, all these features are assembled to produce ice-wedge polygon map for the whole image scene. We then remove the duplicate polygons resultant due to the overlapping seam. Source 3 sample output from Arctic tundra. Subfigure A is from North Slope of Alaska. This is a sample image patch and the resultant water body detected is shown here. And then we show a sample zoomed area in the right hand side. And here is the sample image patch which is zoomed. And here is the resultant water bodies. And you can see we have detected very small water bodies in meter scale. And here we show the sample ice-wedge polygon map and we have zoomed that in these two figures. And you can see we have detected the ice-wedge polygon very accurately. And subfigure B shows area from Bank Island, Canada. And here also we have detected the water bodies, and we have zoomed it here, and we have detected ice-wedge polygons, and we have a zoomed view here. The shape, size, and the texture of ice-wedge polygon is different in Bank Island, but we have been able to detect them accurately using our Maple workflow. And here is another sample output from Canada, and here the texture, size, and shape of the ice wedges are different. Ice wedge polygons are different, but using Maple workflow, we have been able to detect the ice wedge polygon accurately. For our 4 workflow designs. In the first design, we saw our sequential design. Here we use a single GPU and a single CPU in a single node. And in design 2 and 3, we use single CPU and multiple GPUs. The difference between these two designs is that here in design 2, we use a single shared multi-threaded thread, and here we use a dedicated thread for each GPU. And in design 4, we use multiple CPUs and multiple GPUs. And here also we use the same techniques by using dedicated thread for each GPU. Here we saw the results from our Maple workflow. In figure 10, we compare the results from our design 1, and here we compare results with different image sizes on GPU and CPU. The gray bar shows a 400 million pixel image on CPU, and orange, green, and brown bar shows 400 million pixel image, 1.6 billion pixel image, and 3.6 billion pixel image. And when you compare the inferencing result, you can see GPU is performing far better than the CPU. And when you take the total time, and you can see that the time for CPU for 400 million pixel and time for GPU in 3.6 billion pixel image, which is 9 times higher, are similar. So you can see by using GPUs, you can get better results for ice-wedge polygon mapping. And in figure 9, we compare the results between our design 2 and 3. And design 2 is orange and design 3 results are green. And you can see design 3 is performing better for multiple GPU settings. And in figure 11, we have compared our results from model 3, and here we have shown the total times for different number of GPUs. And as you can see, when you increase the number of GPUs to 4, the speed up is, you can take a speed up of 2 times. And in figure 12, we compare the results for different number of CPUs. And when you use one CPU, for GPUs, it is same as in the model 3 for GPUs, because here we use one CPU only. And then we go on increasing number of CPUs up to 10, and you can see after 5 CPUs the speed up saturates. So we have selected, we can select 5 as number of the optimal number of CPUs with Frontera and this accounting setting. On conclusion, we have developed a mapping application for permafrost land environment, Maple, by combining deep learning and big imagery as well as HPC resources. Our workflow can run on heterogeneous HPC systems, demonstrating its interoperability for large-scale implementations. The resource usage can be different with different HPC systems due to accounting design and system architecture. Therefore, we need to test our design 4, which is our optimal design, on the HPC system to find out optimal CPU and GPU combinations before doing large-scale calculation to optimize the workflow. For further reading, you can follow these references. I would like to acknowledge NSF, Frontera, Exceed, and PGC Polar Geospatial Center for providing financial, computing, and imagery support. With that, I will wind up my presentation. Thank you for your attention.